got it right 427,000 times. 11 times. Anyway, Boogie with the Bull Uncensored. Randy Rhodes and I are live on the Dave Globin profile all over Facebook in groups and the Boogie with the Bull YouTube channel. And if you know of any place else you want us to be, let me know, and I will make sure we are there. 11 times I got it right tonight. That's the actual and factual count. We got to keep it actual and factual. Randy and I were just gonna keep it loose and go over a bunch of different things and see where else that takes us. So if you're in the live chat, you're welcome to be a part. If you want to be on the broadcast, come into the broadcast and say, where is my link? And Randy will send you a link. And because that's what a co-host does. But actually, we need the power. It's not that the Chromebook can't do it. It's just the overall signal doesn't go as well as what we need. So we need a more powerful base station to pass it out. So Randy comes in handy for that as well. But what do you got tonight, Doctor?
Well, at least I'm good for something, right?
Oh, you're good for a lot of things.
Okay, so like he was saying, we're going to kind of keep it loose a little bit today. Really didn't come with a whole bunch of stuff. My life is I hate to say it, but of the 24 hours that are in a day, other than let's see, between 11 o'clock at night and 8 in the morning, I'm in bed sleeping. But all the other hours, I'm here in my little world, 12 by 16 or 10, something like my office, doing my thing. And on occasion, you go downstairs and say hi to the wife and go back up to work. And I try to keep track of what's going on in the world around us. So I think that the one thing that was on everyone's mind is the war with Russia and Ukraine finally coming to an end. Well, folks, I'm not sure, because every time these guys talk truce, one on the other side blows the shit out of the other side, either right before the meeting or right after the meeting, like what happened here. Trump had this meeting with Putin, and right before Putin goes into the meeting, Putin blows the shit out of Russia, and right before Zelensky goes into the meeting with Trump, Zelensky blows the shit out of Putin. So it's like, they're getting the last shot in before they actually might be coming to some kind of, hopefully long-lasting peace. But what they're talking about right now, and I don't know if it's been finalized, and that is to put together some kind of like a NATO force of soldiers, England, France, Germany, and yes, the United States, boots on the ground as a buffer against Russia, trying to keep them from bombing, the Ukraine, because of the possibility of hitting one of the areas where these European and American troops are stationed. Because if they does that, then that's going to legally allow one or all the nations to go to war against Russia. And to be honest with you, that's not what I want to see, because that's going to be World War III, absolutely for sure, factual. So
he and President Trump were on the tarmac in Alaska, and he got buzzed by one of the new B-2 stealth bombers. And I believe he was very interested in that plane. And of course, there was scaled down for Russia, but he's very interested in that plane. He wants that plane. I don't know if Zelensky will get it. I don't know exactly what will happen. But realistically, they need to go home. William Figgins is with us, and Ray, if Randy says it's okay, he will send you a link and invite you to the program if yours is up and ready to go. Barbara Emmons is watching, and she says, "Good evening, Dave and Randy. Hope you are both doing good. I'm okay here. Very glad to hear that, Barbara, and appreciate you watching tonight. But if Ray can join us, he's welcome to come along and take a ride, as well as anybody else who's watching. If you have a camera and a mic, you're more than welcome to join us, as long as we're able to bring it. We're going to be here about an hour tonight because, of course, Dr. Rose has stuff he needs to do, and it was iShot Tuesday for me, and I may go to bed early tonight too. But
I'm trying to find Ray's new name, and it just isn't popping up for me. Hang on a second. I got to figure out how he spells it.
It's FEGGANS. I know usually if I try to send him a link, it's the messed up link that comes with
how's it spelled?
FEGGAN.
Yeah, I got it. Yep, there it is.
Yeah. If I try to send it to him, it's usually messed up, and it doesn't bring him here. It brings him to that other page on Restream.
Okay.
We can't explain why.
He has it. So,
right,
so my concern. So my concern is, if he does, Trump does go ahead and place American soldiers along with European soldiers in Ukraine. I don't know. That might be, also a trigger for Putin to bring the whole world into a war. Maybe that's what he wants. I don't know. So we'll have to wait the next couple of days to see what's going on with that. Also, folks, conspiracy theorists, okay? Some evidence has come forward in the writings of various people back in the day of the Alamo. We all remember the Alamo, right? The Alamo was where the Texans made a stand for the independence of the state of Texas, hoping that the government would acknowledge them as a state and thus releasing federal troops to go to the aid of these 200 some odd men. That didn't take place until after the fact. So these 200 some odd men faced off several thousand Mexican soldiers. Okay, and well, you can imagine what the hell happened. They died. But what the conspiracy theory is saying is that perhaps Davy Crockett did not die inside the Alamo, as most historians have written it, but was taken prisoner along with some others to be killed by a firing squad after the fact. But there's no way of telling because all the Texan soldiers were placed on a big pile and their bodies were burned to nothing but ashes was left. So there's no way to determine who was there or not. And here is Raven.
Mr. Ray, how are you tonight?
Hello, gentlemen. How's everybody doing?
Okay, your shirt's backwards, but I think it says they don't know what they're doing. And I agree with that.
Well, that's okay. My dad used to always say, just hum a few bars and fake it. Make it look like you know what you're doing, and you'll be okay.
So what are you gentlemen talking about this evening? I just...
anything and everything.
Yeah.
We were talking about if you make another 18 years, it would be 36 years. We were talking about what to give you for your 36th wedding anniversary.
You can pay my mortgage.
Okay, I'll put that. I'll put a note in your file. That's what you want.
Hey, be careful what you be careful what you ask for. I don't come cheap.
Yeah, I'm still waiting for my pay raise, Ray. So I wouldn't hold much breath out on that check for that mortgage.
You get double what you were getting before last night, but like everybody else, you don't get a check until you have $25 in your account.
Right.
Okay.
So I've been on TV on YouTube past couple of days, and I've been watching altercations with um, the sheriffs and the county police in D.C. And the feds in D.C. And I'm watching them go into the inner cities and interact um, with the inner city people, and it's very interesting. It, it's there is definitely, I don't know if it's due to training or what they are accessible to, but those those federal cops that wear the green with the sheriff on the back of their vest and all of that shit,
Mhm.
I like those guys a lot better than I like those inner city police officers. They seem to carry themselves with more dignity. I don't know if it's because the inner city police officers got the inner city mentality, and that's how they're wired. But kudos to these federales that's in these inner cities interacting with these um young men, should I say. It's very interesting. They're literally having conversations, they're talking, and you know it's or maybe the people in the community just scared to mess with them and treat them with a different level of respect. I don't know.
I think it's a little bit of both. In some cases, there was a guy smoking a cigarette out on his front stoop in a video I saw, and they were all polite, but they showed up and they said that there is a curfew in effect, and we understand that you're just out smoking, which is, I guess, okay, but don't be upset if someone comes by dressed in the same uniform we're in and
Yeah,
asks you to
yeah.
go
See, because
inside.
I was watching the same video. Now, like he said, it could have been a different police. It could have been a different group of police that was walking down the street because they know what they
Mhm.
smell. You know what I mean? They know what they smell,
Yeah,
and
right.
for them to just have the conversation, just letting them know, hey, it could have been somebody different that walked up on you and not be as polite as we are.
It, I thought that the conversation was that he was smoking a bud. It wasn't just a cigarette that he was smoking, and that's what was up. But like you said, at least they seem to be polite about it. It is your home, and you might want to go inside and do it.
I don't know
And
why,
not,
but I
you
like
know,
that. I haven't seen many, but I saw the one video where they're marching down the street in full uniform, uh, and the people on the porch are screaming and saying, "Oh, yeah, 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 right." And the soldiers saying, "Get in your house, get in your house," and they're staying on the porch. Get in your house, and they're staying on the porch. Next thing you know, the guy they say, "Light him up," and they start shooting. I guess either rubber bullets or paintballs at him, and that got him moving to the house.
but to me that's still the wrong thing. You get back what you give out. So if you stand there and start yelling at people, they're going to start yelling and who knows, do something at you that they
Look,
shouldn't do. But if you can, like we've said, if you can go up to the guy and say, hey, we understand what you're doing, but you're doing it at a time where there's issues to take care of, and we never know who is going to be in your neighborhood taking care of the issues. So all we suggest is, we didn't tell you to put it out. We didn't tell you that you're under arrest. We just simply said being out on your front step is not where you may want to be doing it. Now that, of course, is the guy's out on his front step doing it because he doesn't want his whole house to smell
hey,
like it.
this this is the
So,
this is the thing with me though. I I will never condone. I will never try to understand how you can disrespect authority. I don't care what instances have taken place with other people prior, this and that. I don't care what you think they're doing or shouldn't be doing.
Mm-hmm.
The moment I couldn't be a police officer, I couldn't
Right.
because I'm out here
Yeah.
sworn duty to protect and serve, and you talking about you gonna spit on me, f me, this and that. No, we got problems. We got problems. I do not come out here to be disrespected. Not when I'm coming out here putting my life on the line for you,
Right.
the citizen. Don't
Yeah.
don't put me in the barrel with the other bad apples of police officers that did some shit. I'm gonna come to you with respect
Right.
off the jump, and that's the same energy I want back. These
Right. My security.
these people out here
Go ahead.
berating these officers and telling them get out of here. And this no home training, and I don't feel
Right.
sorry. Every time I see a video and I see somebody berating the officer, I wish that officer would just pat their ass to the ground, throw some cuffs on, because
Yeah.
it's wrong.
Right. We used to go through a 1,500 unit apartment complex up in Massachusetts. And if it started getting loud and we were getting complaints from other people in the buildings, we'd politely go up and, hey, we know it's Friday night. We know you're just having everybody over, but it's getting a little bit loud. And they would usually, turn it down a bit. And then an hour later, we'd get another complaint. And a couple hours later, we'd get another complaint, to where I finally would say, the Framingham police got a complaint. They're going to come here, and because they're police, they're not going to break it up. They're not going to be mean to, well, I mean, they are going to break it up. They're not going to be mean to you, but they're going to get who doesn't live on the property off the property so that it's quiet. But, we gave you 3 warnings that, we understand it's Friday night. You want to have a party, but the music's too loud. We don't care what you're smoking. The music's too loud.
Yeah.
Too, in instances like that, my personal experience has been that it's not the people who live in those kind of complexes or whatever where they know what the rules are. It's the ones coming from somewhere else coming to your home to have the party. They don't know what the rules are, and they don't care what the rules are. They're going to come to your place and they're going to make as much noise as they want to because, hey, we don't live here.
Mm-hmm. Well, we would go up to those people and go, do you understand that there's a fine for doing this? There's a fine for doing that. If you want to pay the fine, that's okay. But if we come back more than 2 or 3 times, we're going to call the police and we're going to get everybody off the property that doesn't live off the property, and we're going to deal with it that way. And I didn't want to deal with it that way. I would even go up to most people and just say, hey, I have to come out here and do this when I have to be I'd be 30, 40 miles away doing something else. And, I don't want to break up your party. The police don't want to break up your party. We would sit out there and listen to the sound level, and the police would say, no, we have to break it up.
So have y'all been following the damn truck driver that tried to do a U-turn?
Oh, yeah.
I didn't see the video, like I said to Randy yesterday morning. I didn't see the video of the truck actually hitting it, but I did see a video of the truck.
Yeah. So the neat thing is that there's a camera inside the cab of the tractor trailer.
Yeah.
And it shows this guy with a cap on his head, and someone next to him. Was it a trainer, a trainee, or whatever? But someone else sitting next to him, and you can see the truck driver. He pulls up and he starts making this turn from the far lane crossing over the inner lane to make this U-turn, not even looking. And next thing you know, this van plows into the trailer and goes halfway underneath the body of the trailer, bringing the truck to a complete stop. Three things that blows my mind. First off, that three individuals were killed in that tragedy, and the fact that the driver was illegal since 2018. He crossed the border, somehow got a license to drive a tractor trailer. Okay, and here he is standing off to the side, absolutely non-emotional about what he just did. I'm glad he's being charged with 3 murders. And then someone in the city that did a undercover report. She went to a place where they're training truck drivers, right?
Mm-hmm.
And the person is pretending to be an illegal, does not speak hardly any English. And the guy that's teaching this person said, "Don't worry, we don't need to learn English. Let's just go in and get this done so you get your license." And the individual says, "Well, is there any classroom time? Because I don't read or speak English." No classroom time. We're just going to get you in the truck. We're going to get you. And so they put him in the truck. All I have to do is pull it out, back it up, and he's done. He's got his license.
Well, I don't know why. I know a few of the police officers that teach the cab course in Boston. And the night of the final, they say to the entire class, if you don't read English, write English, and speak English, you cannot pass the test. Because there are portions of the test where you have to do all 3 things. So, right, but my point was just that you have wasted your entire time to get a Boston cab license because you're not leaving with one if you can't read, speak, and write English. And you see guys get up and walk out because they don't, no one cares what you speak in the cab as long as you speak English to any cab customer, but they just don't do it.
Well, that's like when I was between jobs and I thought I'd give it a shot and go work for Kegel's Produce, right? Thinking I was going to drive a van or something like that. And the guy said, "Yeah, we definitely need drivers. You got a valid driver's license." Yeah, I showed it to him. And he said, "Let's go." And he takes me over to what we refer to as steak box trucks. They're like half the size of a tractor trailer, right?
Okay.
And he says, "Okay, let's get in." So I went to the passenger side. No, get in the driver's side. I said, "Really?" He said, "Yeah, just get in the driver's side." He said, "It's an automatic, so you should have any problems." So, I put in the gear and I pull away from the building. I got out on the road, get onto the bypass, went down 2 exits. Okay, turn around. I turned around. So I got off the bypass, head back to the Kegel's Produce, backed it in. He said, "You're done. Welcome to Kegel's Produce.
Yeah.
You're starting tomorrow."
Yeah. But even the Massachusetts State Police in obviously Massachusetts do that. I had a learner's permit because my license had expired in California when I left, and I needed to get a new license. So I drove on a permit for, I don't know, I think 3 months. And then I went in and took my test. It was the same thing. The guy got in the car. He said, "Go up, take a right. In the middle of that block, take a left and go into the court, and then come back around." When I parked, he said, "You obviously look like someone who has driven a car before." I said, "Well, I owned a limousine business in California. Does that work?" And he said, "Yeah." I said, "Well, I had to play the rules to get my Massachusetts license." But my point is that if you don't know what you're doing with the vehicle that you drive, regardless really of whether you're illegal or not, you should not drive it. I mean, when at one of the businesses in California, we'd hire more ladies than we hired guys. And they would say to me, I've never driven one before. I think I can learn. And I'd say, okay, we'll go. And I'll ride with you for 45 minutes or an hour. Then you take the car and you drive the car and get comfortable with it and come back and tell me what you think. Some would come back and say, no, I just don't think I'm going to be able to do it. And some would say, yeah, I'm ready. I'll go do it. The bigger vehicles, the buses that that we had, I would say to them, no, you have to spend. I think it's 3 months before you actually uh, get approved to drive by yourself. The shuttle bus service that we did at Stanford, I think it was the same thing. 3 months before you could drive by yourself, but for the first 3 months, unless you showed us that you knew what you were doing, then we put you up there because we always say to people, if you're not comfortable, go up on Saturday when we're not driving and just drive the route and get comfortable with it. But you know,
So, Raymond, what's new and interesting on your neck of the woods?
Well, I'm just preparing to relocate, so that means the lab will be back up and running first week of September. Make sure y'all share, like, and subscribe. Appreciate the time for your platform.
yep. I'm telling people when I remember that I know you're coming back. I usually can remember that it's 2 weeks, and I hope people do. I hope
2
people
weeks.
do watch. I hope people do watch. You need to get this up as soon as you can. It needs to be faster than 2 weeks because I like having you on because when we're on the lab, we're every we're everywhere.
Well,
So
I appreciate you gentlemen allowing me to come on your platform while you guys are up and running and keeping me a little bit.
anytime. Well, you cut out for a second. Just send me what?
I say I appreciate you guys
Oh,
helping keeping me relevant.
you are welcome anytime. Anytime you want to come on, you are welcome to come on. Michael Anthony is in the live chat. Says it sounds like a show of able-bodied workers. Yep, we're just kind of being a bit. We're covering what we need to cover tonight, Michael. We're being a little loose in some all of it, but feel free to.
Hey, Michael, I have a question for you. You don't. I guess you can let Dave know what the answer is, but uh, my friend and author, historian Matthew Holmes, we did a, a broadcast about his book. He's written 8 books, and he chose me to do a review of the books. And then Jen and I will. Jen will also be reading the books, and then we're going to do a broadcast reviewing the books with the author. And he has written a book called um, uh, "Chemtrails Over Dixie." Okay, and in it he talks about the chemtrails and so forth. But if I understand correctly, this is also the book that talks about the Epstein passenger list and some other stuff in it. Because it talks about chemtrails, would you be interested in being part of that broadcast since you are our resident expert on chemtrails?
I'll keep an eye peeled on the live chat, and I will let you know as soon as there is an answer. I do know, like he did with your phone. I don't know if he will actually do a broadcast or not. So you need someone to handle his hold the mic his phone that you put him on. But
Right. I mean,
you might get him for 30 minutes. I don't know if you'll get him
and that
much
would be
more.
phenomenal. And again, we can do like I did with Morris Myers when we talked about slavery. We just put the phone next to my microphone so he can hear us. We can hear him.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay.
So let me know.
I,
The only other couple of things we're talking about is about Trump. Raymond, do you think Trump would actually send American troops into Ukraine as part of a NATO force?
No. Mm-mm. No. I don't believe Trump. Trump is Trump is trying to get out of wars. Trump ain't into trying to send our soldiers over to fight other people's wars. Trump's in the business of holding people accountable to where they can take care of their own shit. I can see him maybe aiding Zelensky in some kind of way, but with military troops, nah. Even if NATO gets involved, he'll tell Europe that's y'all deal.
Yeah.
I put no boots on the ground. Y'all got enough. Now y'all gotta utilize the assets that y'all have. The Europe can take care of its own self. They don't need us. They gotta have somebody that puts their ass in line and makes them do what they're supposed to do.
You think Europe kicking in with Zelensky will tone it down and bring a peaceable solution if there is one, or do you think that this is going to continue and be an ongoing war?
No, this ain't gonna be an ongoing war. Um, the only thing you do is look at first he had Putin for the sit down, then he had Zelensky. He not only had Zelensky, he had the whole damn EU. He had the
Yeah,
whole damn NATO there. Trump, when Trump summons a meeting and people want to really wheel and deal and negotiate and try to get something that they want, they're gonna come to the table. See, and people know and understand. These countries know and understand that Donald Trump is not just a president that's gonna talk shit to be talking shit. If Donald Trump say, "Yo, let's make a deal," they coming to the table because they don't know what to expect. They
yeah,
don't know what the hell they gonna walk away with it from. It might be more than shit they could ever imagine. Because at the end of the day, that's all the Donald.
yeah. But did we lose Ray? All right, well, let's see if Ray comes back because I hope we didn't lose him. There he is. We lost you for a
That's my
second.
take on it.
Okay, good. Did you see the picture? The picture showed them all sitting on the couch or whatever it was outside of uh, his office or the room that he was in, looking like they had been sent to the principal's office and they were going to get in trouble.
You talking about J.D. Vance sitting on the?
No, there was a picture of Macron was on the end, two ladies, then a few gentlemen sitting at the other end of this couch in a hall, and you see the closed doors, and they looked like they had been sent to the principal's
Oh my
office,
God!
and they were waiting to get in trouble. In one of them, I don't know, but if you look at it, it does look right. It makes Macron look like he has three legs, which was really kind of interesting. But I do agree with Ray that I think the leaders of Eastern Europe are going to do something with Zelensky, but make sure that this war comes to an end. And I don't know what it is. I don't know if Ukraine is going to lose that tip of land there that Zelensky won. I don't know.
I think Zelensky is going to lose half of his country to bring his war to an end.
Well, I think Zelensky is going to lose his country. To be quite honest with you, I think there will, if necessary, come a time when Trump says, "You know what? Screw." Because the only way I can fix this is to boot you out now, call for an emergency election in Ukraine. I mean, as the president of the United States, he doesn't have the authority to do that, but he will work with whoever in Ukraine. They will remove Zelensky and they will bring another president in because there are just about everything that Zelensky is not interested in doing. And you know, it takes two people to have a solution. It takes two people to end a war.
When Trump was on Fox News doing an interview after the meeting, and he makes the comment about Zelensky saying that. So it's, the Fox headline says that Donald Trump disgraces himself, mocks Ukraine for standing up to Russia, to a country that's 10 times your size. So, so once again, he's putting the blame of the war on Ukraine as opposed to Russia. So it was if my memory serves me correctly, wasn't it Putin who first put his troops along the border to antagonize Ukraine?
Yeah.
So then, why would Putin? Why would our president think that Ukraine's at fault for starting a war?
Well, I don't know who takes the blame for the war, but there are clips of evidently Putin saying in Russian that if you were the president back in 2020, I would not have attacked Ukraine.
Correct.
I would have worked something out with Ukraine. I would not have wouldn't have attacked them because Biden was there and he didn't like Biden when Biden was vice president. So he obviously didn't like Biden as president. Biden tended to, he got whatever the decision was, or whoever told him whatever the decision was going to be. He'd go in there and bang his hand on the table and blah, 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 blah. And, we know that Trump is one of them and say, this is what we need to do. And then the next week sit with the other one and go, this is what we need to do. And then in week 3, the two of them meet. It didn't say whether or not Trump would be there. And then based on that meeting, there would be a trilateral meeting where all 3 of them are there. And hopefully this thing closes out. Welcome back, Ray.
I hate technology.
Me too.
My phone rings and it's just a text, so I apologize.
That's all right.
Oh, man.
That's all right. We only have 2 weeks, and then you'll be back in the Patriots lab, and we won't have this happening again.
So what's the weather like in your neck of the woods, Ray? Because right now it's hovering in the low 60s for Pennsylvania.
Oh gosh, it is very hot and it's very humid. It's probably 80.
Wow.
Yeah, but it's very humid. It's very sticky. Yeah, I'm still sweating out here. So it's humid. Very.
Yeah, it's been hitting fall weather here. I'm not sure if it's going to stay. I mean, I would love for it to stay. I love the fresh air because we have windows in the front of the house, in the back of the house, and the side of the house. So depending on depending on where the wind's coming from, what direction, that's what we're looking for, what direction wind's coming from, we get a nice cool breeze coming through our windows.
So I got a question for you gentlemen, because we're all thinkers on here. So
somebody walk in the room?
Huh?
You said gentlemen, so I said, did somebody walk in the room?
Okay.
So you see how everybody is saying that Donald Trump only has 30 days to do what he's trying to do in D.C. without going back to Congress and getting approval from Congress to continue with the federal takeover of D.C. This is something that I've been paying close attention to because I like to use a lot of common sense. If he already started the crackdown 8 days ago, and he only has technically probably 20 days left to do it. How is it that more and more National Guard are showing up from all of these red states? How is it that more and more big vehicles are starting to maneuver themselves in DC at temporary or permanent locations? It's like he's maneuvering his pieces around a chessboard
Mhm.
before. This doesn't, it would seem to me he has enough National Guard and federal presence there already to do what he's doing. Why the continuous buildup and the days are winding down? I don't know. Could this be? Could this be a takeover, a real martial law takeover? So when he gets ready to shut it down, it's already shut down. I mean, it's just something to think about. It's just something to think. If I told my people the fight's over, but yet I still got people coming, hey, this is just. I just think. I
It's
just think. And now it's being said that some of them are even starting to carry firearms. So I'm like, this thing seems to be intensifying on the part of the administration than just a big brother's watching the community. I know what it's like when big brother's watching the community. It seems like he's about to have a hostile takeover of Washington D.C. I mean, that's just me.
uh, I guess I want to look at it as it's easier to have too much and have to pull it away, pull it down, rather than it is to not have enough and have to be worrying where you're going to pull it from to have it. My fear, as I've said before, is that if it works in Washington D.C., there are other places in the country that need the same kind of thing done. And is that a takeover of the country? It's like, Gavin Newsom wants 5 more Democrats in the House so that he hopefully can become president. Whatever happens to Trump, I don't know. And he doesn't become president. Even if Trump got himself impeached and had to leave, he hadn't become president. But
Hey,
when Gavin becomes president, he wants to have the Democrats in charge,
when it when, when
and,
it
which is going to cost him the
when it
presidency.
comes to law and order, what has Donald Trump done that hasn't worked? Of course, this is going to work.
Yeah.
I think like you, Ray, that he is boosting his position with additional troops for the end of 30 days so he can stay in DC and continue to take control of it.
I got
lo
I got
and
I got a question for you, Randy, and you too, Dave. Out of
Okay.
everything we've been talking about, accountability for these crooks and all of this stuff, how can we ever think it can happen without him taking over DC? This is what you got. This is what you got to stop and pause. Everybody, you think this man is gonna lock people up with no military in DC with no? So
No.
this is that's why I'm saying this is what the play is, because he's building it up, and he's going to continue to build it up over time, because at the
Mm-hmm.
end of the day, his number one goal is to drain the swamp. You can
yeah,
only drain the
Right.
swamp when you have an overwhelming force of military in Washington, D.C.? Is that what
Well,
this buildup is?
and he needs that too, because he said that, this is not a place that I want to bring other global leaders. It's dirty, it's a lot of crime, and let's have a place. The nation's capital should look like the nation's capital. Everybody has a right to be there, but yeah, there's a lot of, like you said, there's he's got to take care of the swamp, because 3 years and 6 months, if that's what he's got left, is not a whole lot of time to do that. And he, if Mr. Vance is taking over, I mean, I don't care if Gavin Newsom's taking over, but it needs to be done, and it needs to be done right.
Did you just say you
And
don't care if Gavin Newsom takes over?
I do, but I care if Gavin Newsom breaks the law like he's breaking the law in California. In California, they gave redistricting to an independent committee made up of some Republicans, some Democrats, some independents that are citizens, that are not legislators. They're not connected to the California state legislature. These are people who use the census and a few other things to make their decisions and do their things. And this is not the turn for that in California. And Gavin's getting all upset because they're doing it in Texas. This is Texas's turn to do this. And it just happens that the Republicans have the majority of Texas. And if Gavin doesn't like that, too bad.
So what I've been trying to figure out here in this great country of ours is the new motto going to be, because you remember the old motto was, if you can't do the time, don't do the crime. So when I come back in September after observing everything, I believe I'm going to start my platform off with a bang. Is America now known as the country where you can do the crime if you can just run out the time?
Well, maybe it's a little different. That
What do
there
you
is
mean?
no time, because in the past, you did the crime,
Well,
and
the
you
reason
got
I
away
say that,
with it. There was nobody
the
saying, "Hey,
reason I
this
say
is
that,
wrong."
Dave, is because if you've been watching the news, you're suddenly starting to hear trinkles of, well, has it passed the statute of limitations? He did it 7 years ago and it's been 10. Well, I hope. So is that what America, oh, I'm gonna love this topic. So is that what America has come to now? You can do crime
It
if
is,
you can run out the time. So
but it's also it's kind of worse than that in some cases. Donald Trump and Jeff Epstein were
what are you
standing
talking?
together, maybe smoking a cigar and having a good time, and now
No,
Donald Trump
no,
is a pedophile. I don't want to
I'm
hear
not talking
that
about
crap.
that. I'm talking about the
Okay.
lies. Every time Adam Schiff came out on TV and said, we have we have proof, we have this, we
Oh,
have that, all the time. I'm talking about the J6 committee. I'm talking
if
about all of these people that did all of these crimes, and now they're talking about, well, is it past the statute of limitations?
well, I don't know if Adam Schiff is going to get nailed for what he did in the House and continues to do in the Senate. But I know that there are 4 charges related to mortgage fraud that could land him in jail for up to 120
Okay, but
years.
let let
He's going to play the
but what
game. Don't lock me up for
look,
120 years
hey
because I'm
Dave,
going to sing. I'm going to nail everybody.
mortgage fraud is the last thing I'm worried about, bruh. I'm talking about the deep state trying to take down the Donald
Well,
Trump administration, from the Russia
there,
collusion to Hillary Clinton erasing her emails,
but
all of this stuff that they are now saying may be past the statute of limitation.
but I think what's going to come out of this is that nobody cares that there was a statute of limitations at one point. They care about people who did
No,
the crime.
No, I agree with Ray. I think what the Democrats have been very good as this, going back in time to find different laws to try and nail Trump with, because it works their model. But at the same time, when they break the crime, they try to do everything possible to wait out the time frame of the how long can that we
But
be charged for the uh, and I'm going
but
to go back to what I've
I
always said. You're not going to see any Democrats go to prison. It ain't going to happen.
well I think you'll see them go for some. You're not going to see Adam Schiff go to jail for 120 years because they're going to sit in a room with Adam Schiff and they're going to say, you're facing 120 years for this, plus maybe another 120 years for everything you did in the House. The false impeachments, the BS that you did in the House and that you're now carrying into the Senate.
so
So
Randy,
Adam's going to be so scared that Adam's going to be so scared of 120 years in jail, he's going to sing like a bird. And he's not a stupid man. He's a well-educated lawyer. He knows what he did. He knows that it was wrong. He knows what other people did, and he knows that it was wrong. And he's going to sing like a bird to keep himself free. Hunter Biden is facing 42 years plus something like $1,200,000 in fines based on what the pardon from Joe is from. If he admits to certain things, they'll kick him out. Plus, now there's the investigations that are saying if you said, Hunter, you gave Joe the Ambien the night before the debate, you are in a world of stink. You can and will end up in prison because if you don't play the game the way we want us to play the game, you can go do 42 years in prison plus like I said, $1,200,000 in fines, plus all kinds of additional lifetime charges if you are in fact the one who did this drug law. We're going to nail you to the effing wall. And Hunter is going to look and say, I don't want to go to prison. Go ahead, Ray.
do you know why I really believe that these people are going to prison? And I've thought about this for a couple of months.
Go ahead.
If Donald Trump doesn't lock them up, his legacy would be for nothing. Out of everything Donald Trump has taken on and has been through in the past 10 years, if he does not hold these people accountable, we would never be able to walk around and call him the Don. I'm talking about it from a gangster perspective. I'm talking about it from a perspective look at somebody like Donald Trump. For a man,
I think you're right. If Trump doesn't do this the deep state's just going to say screw you, Trump, and come in and do whatever the hell they want.
If he doesn't do anything, he would have made himself to be the gangster that he's really not. But no, he's not built like that. That's why I truly believe, like I said, it's common sense.
Yeah.
Before this man can even think about going in these halls of Congress and putting handcuffs on anybody, he has to have DC locked the fuck down.
Right.
And see, because I think of it this way.
Okay.
If you just wanted to clean up pockets, you can bring in a certain amount of military, whatever, clean up your area and give it back over to control to DC Metro and keep moving along the way.
Yep.
He is literally taking over pockets of Washington, D.C. which tells me he is he is building up a substantial force to where when he decides
Yeah.
to do what he needs to, can't nobody come in there and help him.
No.
All these lunatics, because the military is going to have it shut down. This is a must that he has to do,
Yeah.
even if he doesn't plan on doing it 2 years from now. This is
Well,
the step that has to take place.
he's going to do it before he leaves.
Yeah.
He's going to do that before he leaves because he understands unless the rules get changed and allow him to run for a third term. Because, I mean, I've seen hats that say 2028 Trump. I've seen hats that say 2032
look,
Trump. So
you
there's
know,
some plans
do you
somewhere.
know, do you know that Donald Trump can stay out of the 2028 race, be put in as third in line under the vice president. President can resign, give it over to the vice president. Vice president can resign, give it back. He can run as VP. Whoever runs for president can pick Donald Trump as their VP because that's not the title president.
Technically, I'm told no, because the president has to be able, excuse me, the vice president has to be able to serve as president, and he's already served his 2 terms. I know that people can argue and say,
no. Hey, no.
okay,
If you think about it, you can only run and win twice.
okay, you're probably right, and I trust that you are probably right.
Well, even if I'm not right, what's to stop him from still calling the shots, even if he doesn't have the title? Obama did it.
Oh yeah, no,
Obama still is doing it.
he
Obama's trying to figure out how to get the hell out.
Obama's got this thing called the deep state, and he's running around doing everything he can to save it.
No.
Donald Trump knows what he has to do, and he's going to go and do it. And the deep state is not going to get in his way, I think, because, like I said, Hillary Clinton doesn't want to go to prison for the rest of her life. Odds are she will sing some point, and then she'll serve sometime. I don't know. There was a time where I wanted, or I said, they all need to be one by one put up against a wall at Gitmo and served a silver bullet dinner.
Hey, y'all hear Hillary talking about she'd nominate Trump for the Nobel Peace Prize if he got that peace deal done.
Because
why is she changing her tune? She would never. Why? Oh, see, I pay attention to the very important small things. She made she actually gave him a compliment. No. See, y'all got to look at the subliminary messages that they send out. She hates that man.
But he's the only man who can pardon her. He's the only man who can probably lead her to reduced sentences. That lady does not want to spend the rest of her life in prison because she's a grandmother. Well, she's a mother, but she's a grandmother. She'll never see her grandchildren again. Her husband, I don't know. I don't know if she wants to spend time with him. I don't know if he wants to spend time with her, but he's going to jail too. So he's going to sing.
Bill Barr already came out and testified that Donald Trump ain't nowhere on the Epstein files.
Yep.
I knew that.
Well, I saw something else. He said that if Trump was on the Epstein list while he was Attorney General, and the Democrats found out, they would have wanted Trump's head on a platter, which means that it would have been done by now. I think Trump is not releasing that list, if there is one, yet, because they're not all busted or, had the talk yet, because of that list, we stand a chance of breaking up Congress in the United States, the legislative branch, the House and the Senate. And it could be Republicans that were involved. We know that there were a lot of Democrats that were involved. we could seriously hurt both houses. And if he's going to do that, he needs to do something that says, screw it. If you're guilty, I don't care which party you're in, you're nailed to the wall. You're gone.
I got to go.
Okay.
Well, my time is up. It's great seeing you again, Ray. You guys keep on talking amongst yourself.
Okay.
I'll be listening while
right,
I do my work. You take care.
All right, Brother Randy.
All right, Randy. He doesn't want to, he wants to nail everybody who's guilty in the House and in the Senate. But if he nails them all at once, what the hell does he do? He's got to have the House and the Senate to run this country.
But you got to understand, those people can be replaced. It ain't like he won't have a House and a Senate.
But there could be a significant amount of time before he replaces it. And in the process of replacing it, he risks getting a Democrat majority again. He needs to do this and make sure he's 100%. I got you. I got you. I got you. When he takes Adam Schiff in and they have the talk, Adam's going to squawk like the, whatever you want to call him, he is, spineless guy he is, because Adam Schiff is looking at something like 240 years in prison. And he can't do that. Believe me, he cannot do 240 years in prison.
Pencil neck, he can't do 1 day.
He couldn't do 240 minutes in prison. Hillary Clinton sending the compliment, gets him wondering, why did she send me a compliment? Maybe she and I need to sit down and have this conversation and figure out what's going on. Because she may throw people. I don't know what Barack Obama is facing. So and what the estimated years could be. I don't know if he's afraid of that, because personally, I think Barack Obama will speak to Trump, give him all the information he needs to shut down the deep state, as long as Barack Obama gets to leave the country and goes somewhere safe and stays out of the operation of the United States of America forever. That's all I think Trump wants. He just wants to say, hey, Barry, thank you for telling me everything I needed to know. Now get the fuck out of here and don't ever see me again.
You might be right. You might have something there.
Because then if there comes a time that he needs to talk to Barry, he's got Barry on speed dial. If Barry needs to talk to him, he's got Barry on speed dial. I don't think he ever wants Barry to step back into the White House, because if Barry shows up and says Barack Obama to see Donald Trump, they're going to let him in. But every reporter that's at the White House is going to wonder why the two of them are suddenly having a conversation. I don't, people are just going to not, they're going to sell out everybody to save themselves.
Yeah, it's going to happen. You already know they're
I know it is. I know it is. It's like, I don't think he cares about how much money Obama's got hidden in some third world country where they could never find him again. Great, take your family and leave. You already lost your daughters. They seem to not want anything to do with you again. And there's a question as to whether or not they're your daughters anyway. So, pack your bags and go. Let me know when you want to go. I'll put you on Trump Force One and send you anywhere you want to go. Just tell me what I need to know and go away and let me do it. What happens with like George Bush Jr., George W. Bush? I have no idea, because I don't really You know,
Mm.
he's
Yeah,
he's the he's the heir to the Bush family. You know, George Bush Senior, George H.W. Bush is dead, so he doesn't care. Prescott Bush died a long time ago, so he's dead. Uh, you know, I
yeah,
think it's more just getting the information and being able to do what he needs to do than it is, like I said, putting you up against the wall and serving you a silver bullet for dinner.
right. But you know what? You bring up a great point. It's like the Obamas have disappeared from the political scene, and I'm looking back at the other presidential families, like the Bushes, the
Mhm.
Clintons, uh, the Trumps,
Yeah,
and, and I see how before and after they were in office, how their family is still tight knit. You always see them
yeah.
in pictures and all of that stuff. You
You
don't
know,
see that with with the Obamas. Michelle's off doing her thing, Barack's doing his thing, and like you just said, you don't see the girls with them no more or anything. So
and from what I hear, every time the death of the former cook of the Obamas seems to be he didn't die on the beach. It didn't die on a boogie board on the beach. He died somewhere else. He died at the house, and he ended up out on the beach to make it look like that's where he died. So I mean, they've got trouble. They
yeah,
may be talking to all the right people that they need to talk to behind the scenes, and I don't care because if you're not doing it today, if they arrest you tomorrow, they're going to do it. They're going to do it. You know, and if I was the president, it would just be tell me what I need to know, and then to some people, tell me what I need to know and go away. Never see. I don't want to see you again. Just go away.
mm,
Uh, he could do that with George W. Bush, but he can't do that with Adam Schiff
no,
because Adam Schiff wronged him. Two false impeachments. Now he's in the Senate trying to do more things to him. He screwed up while he was in the Senate. He can't live in Maryland and California at the same time. It's not allowed. It's not allowed in the Senate. You can't do it. The Senate says that you have to live in the district that you
represent.
represent.
That's right.
But once you get elected, you can move out. You can live anywhere in the state. So, but Maryland is not in California, and California is not in Maryland. So pick one. And if a court says it's Maryland, then think of the trouble he's got in California.
Him
So
and
I mean,
Letitia James.
yeah, so it's just like Adam, you are in so much trouble. Just tell me what I need to know and go away. Go away.
And
Just
I think that's what it's going to be all about the art of the deals. Like you say, Trump wants the big fish. If
right,
Trump will sacrifice letting these people go, no matter who's upset for the
right.
bigger.
I don't know if Hillary Clinton is a big fish or just someone who is taking orders. That I don't know. I wish I did. There was a time where I thought Barack Obama was the CEO of the deep state. He was calling the shots and he was making the decisions. And now I don't think that.
No,
He is not a stupid man at all. But
everybody. Hey, Dave, but I gotta head up out of here, brother man.
yeah, okay.
Hey, appreciate it. It was a great show tonight
Hey,
with
I'm
you.
glad that you were here, Ray. You're welcome
Hey,
back anytime.
well, the next time you get ready to go on, let me know, and I can see if I can make it from the
We
beginning so
will
I can
be
be on the opening.
well tomorrow at 10 o'clock. We're on for about an hour, or at least Randy will be with us for about an hour. You're welcome to join us for that.
Okay.
Thursday night I will not be on because we won't be home. We have something that I'm going to go help with. I don't have. No, I hate using the word have to. I have something I want to go help my wife Donna do
There you
Thursday night, so I won't be here. Friday morning we're on again, 10 o'clock, and if you need to, I'll send you a schedule of when we're on, and anytime you want to go on. If you need somebody who,
Well, hey, like I said, I'll be in my new studio beginning of
yeah,
September, and it'd be an honor if I had you as one of the first guests
hey,
on. So I look forward to it.
good. Well, it may go better than that because I'm thinking about kind of stepping down from hosting and just guesting more.
Okay.
So I'll talk to you about that. But
All
I'm
right.
very glad that you were here.
Good day, my brother.
All
Good night.
right, Ray. Thank you. William Rayfield, you know him as Ray from the Patriots Lab. You see him all over the internet. You see him on X. You see him on Twitch. You see him on just about everywhere. It's always a pleasure to have him on. Look for him in September. His, like you said, his studio will be up and running in his new home, and I'm looking forward to seeing that. And you saw Randy Rhodes, All Roads Lead to Home Genealogy, the best person. That's all I'm going to say. The cheapest person, the best person, lives, eats, breathes genealogy, doing genealogy, wakes up in the middle of the night, answers that question that he hasn't been able to answer. Just a good guy. Okay. And a lot of good guys around. Michael Anthony, who was watching tonight, would love to have had him on the panel, and that's what we're working on here. We're working on whatever time is left in this Boogie with the Bull thing is not getting involved in all the other stuff that is going around the internet, and just sticking to what we need to tell you and what you want to tell us, and just going to town with it is what we're going to do. Jane O'Malley is in the live chat. She's my buddy. And Jane says, I think she was being sarcastic. I think she was too. But I think because they were friends going back to when Trump was a Democrat in New York. So, it may be the art of the deal in motion again. You tell me what I want to know, and I'll tell you what I can do. I don't know. I don't know what's going to happen with Bill. I don't. Everybody knows he's on the Epstein list, and you'll find out what he did someday. And if he goes to jail, he goes to jail. I don't really know what's going to happen. He might not if Hillary does what I think she's going to do. That is just, hey, I will tell you what you need to know, and then I just want to go somewhere and never be seen again. Somewhere safe with my daughter, my grandchildren, my son-in-law, my husband, and whatever, because that's what I think this is going to come down to. It's no longer about a set of steel cuffs to a wall at Gitmo. That's not what it is about, and I don't think that's what it ever was about. Tell me what I need to know, and fine, never see you again. And the next one's going to do the same thing. And they're going to keep going up until they find the people who are at the top. And the people at the top, no, they're not going to be able to just tell him everything he needs to know. Some people are going to end up in jail. What for? I don't really know. But it is fun to have these conversations. Again, I'm glad that Ray was here and Randy was here. And we're going to wrap up this Boogie with the Bull at 8:17 tonight. Like I said, we will be back tomorrow morning at 10 a.m. for Wednesday morning caffeine, and 10 a.m. Friday morning. We will not be here if you just tuned in. We will not be here at 7 o'clock Thursday night. Maybe Randy will do something. Maybe Ray will do something. I'll try to tell you what I know other people are going to do so that and I left bored trying to figure it all out. I will let you know what's going on. And on that note, we'll hit this one. Double V's for victory. This Boogie with the Bull is coming to an end. And